I'm Jacqueline Nichele. I am 24 years old and I lift at Montage Barbell in Newcastle. Do I get to sign this lens?
Yeah, you gonna?
Like Gracie did at the games. I've been lifting out of Montage Barbell for about a year now, since we moved to Newcastle from Sydney. I trained at CrossFit 168 in Sydney, so in Alexandria was my main gym that I trained at. And I used to go and see my coach in Liverpool at Pinnacle Fitness and train with him as well. Well, I stopped training CrossFit as I was, I think, 17, just like coming into being 18, being able to go out clubbing and whatnot. And I found weightlifting through a weightlifting course that I did to improve my coaching because I was working at a gym. I was like, this will be really handy if I do an Olympic weightlifting course like, for my members. And then I went into that course and I met Michael Peng, who is now my coach. And he picked up on the fact that I could move quite well and I was quite strong for how young I was at the time. And he asked, like, oh, if I program you, like, would you compete? And my first thought was, fuck, I don't want to get, I don't want to get any bigger than what I am. And I felt like I was the biggest person in the world then. Like, my biceps are huge and I wasn't, I was tiny. And he said that and I just thought, why not? Like, it is something that I enjoy. I've been in sports since I was about 4 or 5 years old. So like I enjoy competing, I enjoy training, like it's been a big part of my life for a very long time. And why should I not do it because I'm worried about building a bit of muscle? And I just thought I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go, see where I end up. And now we're going to the Olympics. Strange.
So what's your warm-up look like before you get ready?
Just making sure everything works. Any tightness, trying to get that sorted before I get onto a bar. A little bit of mobility, tiny bit of plyometrics, and then straight onto a barbell.
Like if you expected a technical athlete that goes through everything meticulously, it's not her. Like her diet's pasta and cheese, and like her warm-up's like 10 minutes, and then she's like doing her max lifts. Like it's crazy.
I eat more than cheese. Chocolate milk. Too good. So now I get to hop around like a idiot.
I feel like that's fitting to be a frog grip athlete.
Yeah, you get to jump around like a little frog. The Olympics was, so when I first met my coach and we implemented goals that we had for the next year and the next 5 years, one of his things was the Olympics. And I read that because he put a plan in through an email, sent it to me, and I read that and I was like, relax. Like, I'm just here to do a bit of weightlifting. Like, the Olympics is just not going to, like, I'm not that good. I'm not going to be at that level. I couldn't comprehend it. I couldn't understand it, but he had it in that plan. And then as I progressed in weightlifting, it wasn't until, I think one day I turned to him it would have been early last year after a certain comp that I did. And I said, like, what are the chances that I could qualify for the Olympics? And he's like, you could. Like if you're willing to do it and if you're willing to pay for it, because it's going to be quite expensive, then it's something that is definitely realistic. And then I spoke to him about it, spoke to my parents about it, and I was like, he is saying that it's realistic. We could potentially do this, but it was never something that I thought would have been on my radar. It just seems way out of reach. And then it wasn't. And then as I went through each comp, I was like, wow, like this is almost in my hands. Like I almost have this, and I still can't comprehend it. I don't think any of us can comprehend it. It's just like, even my parents, they're like they're like, we never doubted you, but like you're going to the Olympics. And I'm like, yeah, it's so weird.
when I was watching the Thailand comp, I can't sit still. I could be sitting down and walking off, and it's horrible.
Yeah, what do you feel like that's going to be like when she walks out for her first lift? How are you going to?
Like it's going to be like it's both the most exciting thing ever, but it's also like so scary because it's like my hands are sweating, like I'm stressing out. I'm like, you're sitting there like you wanted to hit a lift and get it, but then like, obviously there's that chance that she might not get it, and I know exactly how it feels for her. Like, so it's like you're just sitting there like, oh my god, like you're so stressed out. Like you have to watch it, but then you also just want to look away and like.
Mate, you seem stressed right now. Just
thinking
about it.
It's scary. It's scary to think about it. So this is going to be like the first comp I've ever seen.
All my comps have been in football.
Yeah.
I went to Saudi Arabia, Qatar.
Yeah, they've all been overseas. All of them, ever since we've been together, they've all been overseas. So yeah, it's going to be crazy. So
my support network is insane. Mark has been a massive part of that. I wouldn't have been able to do any of this, but it would have been much harder, and I don't know if I would have been led down the same road as what I have been. Before him, I was kind of out. I was like maybe partying a little bit more. I wasn't taking things so seriously. I wasn't as career focused. And then when I met Mark and saw what Mark was like, and we end up moving from Sydney to Newcastle, everything just became like tunnel vision for the Olympics. Like, this is what we're doing and we're giving everything to it. And I don't know, I feel like I might have been more scattered without that guidance. And then my family, they've supported me in sports since I was about 4 years old. And they've always done absolutely everything they can for me to be successful at what I want to do. And there was no weekend that they had off because I always had competitions on. There was nothing that I didn't have as a kid in regards to like equipment. So there was a time where I was playing tennis. I had all the tennis rackets, all the tennis bags, all the clothes. I had one-on-one sessions, and my parents did that for every single sport that I did. I was never left without, which I'm thankful for. So a typical day in the life would be I wake up at 4 a.m, Monday to Friday. I go work at my job in Newcastle, the Coalface gym. So I just coach and I do admin and supervise the gym until about midday. I come home, I eat, I might have a nap if I get time to have a nap. And then Mark gets home and we go to the gym.
Yeah.
Found frog grips because I worked at a CrossFit gym, and everyone, I think it's when they were first getting quite popular into the scene, and everyone was talking about frog grips and whatnot. And I don't use grips typically for my training because I do weightlifting. And then I looked them up and they do other things. So they have knee sleeves and belts and wrist wraps and tape. And I was quite new on social media and I was trying to build my platform as well. And I wanted to reach out to a few brands to see if, they would support an athlete that, I'm not famous. I don't have like hundreds and thousands of people on Instagram. So these guys are sending me stuff, and like the back and forth messages, like they were chatting to me about like different things, and like I had a relationship with a brand, and it's probably the first brand that I had a relationship with. And still now, even when I've been busy and I haven't put up content for them, or I'm using other pieces of equipment, say for like a comp, I'll wear different knee sleeves that I have. Like they're not fussed on that. And they have never put any pressure on me to, you have to put this many posts up and you have to do this and you have to do that. They've just supported me.
What's your numbers you're looking at? Or what do you got in mind at the moment?
My ideal situation would be 100, 125. They would both be PBs from the floor, which would be great, but it just depends on the travel, depends on the day, depends on how I'm moving. So anything close to those numbers I'll be happy with. Success at the Olympics would just be to have a really good time. At these big events, and I've obviously never done an Olympics, this would be my first one, but at the big international events that I have done, you do get quite consumed with, just getting there, competing, getting home. And I think this time I want to really take it all in and enjoy the process a little bit more. One of the coaches, and he said the best thing you can do is to go out there and before your first lift, just look at the crowd, look at where you are, take it all in, and then get into it. Like don't get lost in competing. So I think that's the best thing that I can do while I'm there, is to just, absorb that I'm at the freaking Olympics. If I was walking out for my first lift at the Olympics, I would have Justin Bieber playing and it would be You Smile.
Can we sing a little bit of it?
No. No. No way. We sing it on the way to the gym in the car.
Let's hear it. I think everyone can hear it. Let's go. We can get some Justin. Have you got the song up?
No, I can't. It's so good. Can you imagine me walking out to this, chalking up?
She'd have the best comment of her life.
It would just be,
Just play in the background.
I'll request it on the day for you. Oh my God, an Olympic tattoo, obviously. If I could get 10 of them, I would. But I'm getting one right here, in black, no colours. Just because I think the yellow you can never see the yellow.
Is a return to CrossFit on the cards one day, competitively?
Maybe. Maybe. I might have a little Torian Pro moment. I feel like that would be fun.
Okay.
Obviously there's a lot of work that goes into it. But after the Olympics, the 2024 Olympics, I get to have a little break.
So we're putting it out there, 2025?
2025? Depends. So there's Com Games. If Com Games isn't on, I may have a little CrossFit debut. But if Com Games is on, I'll probably train through to Com Games, and there'll be some point. I'll definitely go back to gymnastics is my background. So I do enjoy CrossFit. I just have to get over doing more than 3 reps, I guess. I was low-key hoping Cody Simpson would be in the Olympic Village.